too much awesomeness, right? You spoke and it was like the seas parted, and
I think
so
El
I
Chapo shut us down.
yeah, I did know. That's exactly. Yeah, the government's like, man, they're onto us. Mexico cut the lines. They're like, they're onto us. They know our secret. So, I think we're talking about sending people down there. Actually, do you do that? Like, take photos and come back?
We do. For the photo reference for that one, we didn't go down all the way down to the border or anything. We went out to the desert and we got some photos.
I
We
don't
had a
blame
bunch
it.
of stuff already from when we made what is the map called? I just call it
Dust
Desert.
Bowl,
What
Dust
Dust Bowl?
Bowl.
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
made Dust Bowl, we had done a big research trip and tons of reference gathering, tons of stuff we didn't use. So we used some of that for that. We didn't send anybody down. But in general, yes, we do. We send people to locations. I try to get them to go to like, more local locations. So like if they're like, hey, we want to do this like forest out in Colorado, I'm like, okay, there's a forest, here that's an hour away. Can we go to that one? Because I'm just looking at the budget. I'm like plane tickets, hotels versus like I can just pay for your gas to go out there for a day. So we don't necessarily always go to the exact spot, but
Hit me up if
sometimes
you need anything on the East Coast.
okay, they start taking pictures for us.
Yeah, I'll take pictures of Dulles Airport for your airport map you're gonna do.
Here's the thing about that too is like the internet, Google Maps are amazing. I can go
Yeah, I
anywhere.
know.
I mean,
Well, it's like
there's not,
I think I sent your way like an airport map. Like, oh God, I think the game had just been released, and I'm like, we
I,
need an airport map. Yeah, and I think it was just some satellite image from a small podunk Kentucky airport. And I'm like, well, this looks like it'd be fun. But yeah, you can find anything on Google Maps and do the 3D view, and you don't even have to leave home.
yeah,
So,
it's nice to get out
so
for reference trips though sometimes.
oh, especially if it's paid for, right? I mean,
Yep.
who's going to turn that down? So, last map we've got Diversion, and this I think is the one that kind of not controversial, but it's a little different. And explain this map and what it is and the logic behind it and how it came to be, because this is it's a little different.
Yeah, okay. And I'll just give you guys the whole story on that map. So originally in Pack 3, the fourth map, we were doing like a map that was focused on boats. And it was like this like big open, sort of similar to Riptide, but more water and less land. No big one big land mass. Um, we had the map up. We were playing the map. It just wasn't playing well. The boat gameplay in our game is just not like people have asked us for it. They like when BF4 did that. We tried to deliver it. In the end, like it just didn't play well. So we scrapped it and we started on Diversion. We decided, okay, we basically had our most senior level designer working on this water level, and then our most junior, a guy that he was new, he hadn't even made his own level yet, had been on the side already working on Diversion. So when we scrapped the water level and we're like, we just brainstormed like, hey, what do we want to do? And we had a good amount of time on it because we were able to. I think you can tell when you look at Pack 3, and you'll be able to tell when you look at Pack 4 that the longer we have on the pack, the better quality you're going to get, right? Because we just have more time to brainstorm. If something doesn't work, we don't have to force it in. We can just scrap it and redo it. So anyway, he had already had like some of this map laid out, and he was fiddling around with it, and we tested it, made a bunch of changes, but initially it was really cool. I had the same feeling as I think a number of people when I first saw it, where I was like, this is really tight, this is really small, and it's all funneled. Like I don't know how this is going to work. Once he got all the routes that he had planned on, and he got the like catwalks up top, and he got all the doors working, all that, like it's actually there's a lot more space in the map than you think, and it's a very clever sort of layout. So it's now, especially for Blood Money, it's my favorite Blood Money map in the pack. Conquest, I really like it. It's sometimes a little tight with 64 people, depending on how people are playing. I like it in like 32 player Conquest, which
Right.
you got people to run that. But when people run that, I think it plays really well. But I think the flank routes and it does create a bit of a grind at some of these spots, but to me it's really fun. You have these like huge fights, and it definitely feels different from the other three maps, which is you want that. You want a reason to play each map. So that's
Well,
how we made Diversion.
all the maps were beautiful. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous, and I mean, all of them have been up to this point too. So, I mean, your map designers have done a good job. Tell your rookie back there he did a good job.
I
Um,
will. He's like
speaking of
self-taught.
which, Is it, speaking of which, do you all like do you all have like traditions or hazing or anything? You know, for the new guys, like, hey, you finish your first map. All right, we're gonna spray you down with foam and put you in a locker or something. Or
Yeah, in the industry and on teams I've been on in the past, we have definitely. There's been a lot of that. We talked about this in an earlier podcast. You asked me about pranks, and like
right,
my thing personally is like I try to run a real clean show. Like I don't like
yeah,
people wasting time, and all that stuff is kind of a waste of time, And like to me, it's like if we're spending time pranking some dude that's new here, that's time he's not working, and that's time we're not working. So in
so
general,
you
I discourage that stuff.
you're a killjoy, Zach. Wow.
Well, like my whole thing is like people. I feel that we are not making a game that we are trying to sell. We are making content that we have already sold. That's how premium works. People already bought premium, and we have to go deliver content. So you've given me money in faith that I'm going to deliver for you, and so my take on that is essentially our community and our players are our boss, and you shouldn't be. We're not going to be wasting time or wasting their money. Like I want every dollar we got poured into the game. That's
Yeah,
it. Time is money, right? And like,
yeah.
and I'm not saying, look, there are
Save it
times to
for
take breaks.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah, save it for later.
we'll
All right,
party.
so we've got some new weapons too. I think we've got three, right? Or four, including the axe.
Well, that's just for premium, but we also added like
Yeah,
a whole bunch for. I think total we had like 9 free, and then hold on, I'm
yeah,
gonna look it up because I can't even remember. Because now I'm starting to think about pack 4. But yeah, fire
yeah.
axe.
Heaven forbid you accidentally start talking about that accidentally.
Dude,
So
right? Like that's my
yeah,
biggest worry is that like I'm all in. I know Pack 3 is new to everybody, but it's not new to me. I'm like deep in Pack 4 land
yeah.
right
You're
now.
like way past that. I
Yeah.
think the axe is cool though. You know, it kind of reminds me of DayZ. So you got the
A lot of
two-handed
people
axe. That's
I've been gotten with the axe a couple times. Which I don't mind that. You know what I don't like getting killed by is throwing knives. I don't know why, but it bugs me.
throwing knives. So
Yeah.
that's something you wish you hadn't included. Is that one of those things?
No, it's like a personal thing. Like it just bugs me.
Okay,
Like I
it's
feel like
personal.
that guy, like he feels cool that he just throwing knifed me. Like it makes him feel cool. I don't want him feeling cool at my expense.
Yeah, or those knuckleheads that throw them at helicopters and take them down.
That was sweet.
Yeah, it was. I got to admit that was pretty sweet. So, um, can't take away from that.
And I
That's
can't. I guess my problem with them is this. When people have them, I'm like, these throwing knives are crap, man. They're totally OP. Look how quick that guy just killed me. And then my weapons designer go, okay, go ahead and use them, dude. And I'll go use them. I can't kill anyone with a throwing knife.
yeah,
That's why I don't like them. If I
yeah.
could
It
kill everyone with a throwing
takes
knife,
some
I'd probably
skill. Takes a little bit of
right.
skill. So what is your favorite new weapon? I know we've got
One of
some
the new ones.
bullpups, some machine guns.
I'm looking at the list here. Okay, so I really like the G17 race pistol, like the custom competition pistol we did. I think that thing's sweet, especially if you put that like red metal camo on it. I think that thing looks
Yeah,
hot. I like the Ogpara, but truthfully, it's gonna take a pretty crazy weapon at this point to break up my relationship with the FAL. I've been in love with the FAL since we put it in the game. I pretty much I run the FAL on criminal and I run the SG510 on cops, and man, like it's hard for me to go to other weapons right now. I just feel like as soon as I use another gun, I miss my FAL.
yeah.
Miss my FAL.
Well, there's lots of guns like that. That I think one of our questions that I'll get to in a little bit regarding weapons and BF4 weapons, hardline weapons, etc. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
looking at the XP4 weapon list right now, so maybe I'll wink if
so
you've been.
I know one thing that I missed is the G3A3, and I'm waiting for that to but so
Mm.
we've got some gadgets too. We've got an RF jammer, so that's kind of a unique, interesting little thing in there. Have you seen that that's being used a lot since introduction?
People are using it in Hotwire, not really in a lot of other spots, which is fine. That's kind of what we put it together
Right.
for, was Hotwire. I think that like that's where it makes most sense. If you're driving around in an objective vehicle, you're disabling C4, you're disabling trip mines. So yeah, we're seeing in Hotwire in general, like it's much like some of the other we've been the gadget thing is tricky because there's so many gadgets already in the game. People just want more and more and more, but you kind of every time you add a gadget, you're messing with the balance.
Right.
Uh, so the last couple gadgets we've done have been more focused on like specific game modes to solve a specific problem, right? Like the RF jammer solving a specific problem in Hotwire. Before that, we did the like tactical toolkit, not necessarily solving a specific problem, but the tactical toolkit is like you see people use that thing a ton in Blood Money. You don't necessarily see it. I use it in Conquest because I feel like if I'm fighting one-on-one at a capture point and I'm capturing, it just gives me a little bit of an advantage. But for the most part, people use that thing in Blood Money like crazy because it can really turn the tide.
Right.
But yeah, if you play Hotwire, you will see the RF jammer in use for sure.
Yep. And then I think the only other big additions are the legendary camo, right?
Yeah, we put in more legendary camos, which I'm trying to remember which one. This is where it gets tricky. Like, oh, which ones we already put in, which ones
Yeah.
have.
Where
The
are
other
we
thing
at
that's
with that?
weird, the weird thing about camos sometimes is that we put them in the game, like, and when we do that title update, when the pack comes out, that's when we check them in. And
Yeah.
so when our community or marketing, whoever goes and messages out like the pack, they include that stuff. But it's really not. They're really like battle pack drops, you know. They're not necessarily part of any pack. That just happens to be when we updated the game to include them, if that makes sense. But I think sometimes, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes I feel like we mislead people a little bit because we go, we're interested in this camo. And they go, where's my camo? And we're like, well, it doesn't come out for 2 weeks. And they're
Right.
like, you said it was an XP3. And I'm like, well, the data's there. We did deliver it in XP3. We just haven't unlocked it for you yet.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
All right. So we've covered the DLC, which awesome, by the way. I think everybody's enjoying it a lot right now. Now for some questions, and we'll
Yeah,
take
let's
some
get into it.
questions. We'll take some questions for everyone out there, and we've got
Uh,
some from Reddit as well. So
let's make sure that I only want like softball questions.
yeah, exactly. Not
Let's just
nothing
butter it
hard.
up, and I'll send you your check after the
Yeah,
interview.
exactly. I
Whenever
know.
I pay you for
I know.
these
I need
podcasts.
to I need some bigger tires for my truck apparently with all this snow. So, all right. So the big elephant in the
NASCAR
room.
car track would be cool. Sorry, I'm reading. Go.
Yeah, I see that. All right, so the big elephant in the room, and something that I'm sure everyone's thinking. Obviously, PC numbers are not where they would ideally want to be. A little better across the other game systems. It's almost kind of got a cult following on PC. I mean, there's a dedicated core of gamers that absolutely love it and are trying to get other people in, and people are just a lot. I think a lot of people have given up on it for no reason. That's my take, but obviously the numbers aren't there. So I know this is on all of your minds, being the developers, because you, above all people, want to see this succeed. What's your take on it, and what are you going to do to try and kind of boost those numbers up?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess the first thing is that because a number of people kind of ping me and they say the same question, like, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like,
Right.
I'm going to go to people's house and make them play the.
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly. It's like,
continue. I'm going to continue to put out the best content we can for the players that are playing the game. We worked with the Origin team to get us in the Origin Access. Is it called Origin Access? I don't want to say it wrong. I feel bad that I'm saying the wrong
I
name,
think
but
that's it.
the
Sounds
vault
right.
that's now on Origin. The thing is, we also have EA Access, which is on Xbox One.
The Bill Nye machine.
Yeah. So basically, any opportunity that I see where the company is going to let me either give the game as a trial to players for free, or to give content from the game to players for free, any opportunity that I even see within the company, I'm all over it. I jump all over it. As soon as I heard about the Vault thing, the first thing I did was send an email like, "Hey, I want Hardline in the Vault. Like, I want people to play Hardline." So I'm going to continue to do that stuff. I'm also going to continue to just focus on making the best content we can make in each pack. Worrying about who's playing what when doesn't necessarily help a ton. It doesn't, it's like, what can I do, right? So we're just going to continue to make the best content we can, and again, I'll jump at any opportunity to, if the company gives me any opportunity to get the content out there to more people in the easier ways, I will jump at that anytime I see any initiative like that going on.
And I'm
That,
glad you mentioned content, because that kind of leads me to another question. So we're in our third DLC, moving on to the fourth. So the end is near. Summer 2016 is kind of right around the corner. I know it might not feel like it, and you all are already at that point. I'm sure you're kind of in the polishing process or pretty close to it for the last DLC. What are the plans beyond that? What are you going to do after that? Is there going to be stuff kind of like Battlefield 4 where you see they're continuing to support well past its expiration date?
Yeah. First off, it's super awesome what they're doing. I don't necessarily know. Like right now, I'm super focused on Pack 4, and then to be honest, I got to get some people some time off. I have a lot of people on my team that have been putting in a lot of hard work for a really long time now, since before the main game came out. So, you got to get people back with their families and just get a little refresh time. Beyond that, like I'm talking to people about additional things that we could do, but nothing concrete yet. I have, you know, 12 maps and pretty soon going to be 16 maps that only a select percentage of the player base even gets to see because it's part of the premium program, part of expansion packs. I would like more people to see that content before anything else.
Mm,
So I'm trying to figure that stuff out. But right now, Pack 4, Pack 4, Pack 4. I have to keep reminding
Pack
myself like
4.
Pack 4. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on some things. I just can't say what. I'm
So
always
so
working on
they're always scheming,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
So
look,
so
and I'm
there's
not gonna lie, like Hardline is like I play hockey once a week. I have my wife and my child. Other than that, like Hardline is my life. It's very important to me, and anything I can do to get more people playing the game or seeing the content. These guys work their butts off to make this content, and I want as many people as possible to see it. That's my whole goal here.
so you want more people to see premium content.
Yep.
I like that. I like that a lot. And that's one of the things too, there's a lot of people stuck in vanilla and their buddies are over there in premium land and it's just like, hey, you're like looking at each other through the fence. Can't do anything about it. So,
Before you asked me that question, someone in the chat, I saw it scroll by, and I gotta address it because it's been bugging the crap out of me, and we actually did it 2 days ago. Okay, tear gas. When you play our game and someone throws tear gas deals damage to you. It's a small tick of damage, but you're getting damage dealt. You also get the suppression effect, which lasts a certain amount of time even after you leave the cloud. In addition to that, you also take double damage from any bullet that hits you. The double damage part, gone. You're now just you're gonna take damage over time, and you're gonna take this suppression effect, but you will no longer take. There will no longer be a damage multiplier attached to tear gas. I feel your pain with that. I feel the same thing, so that's gone. I just wanted to answer that question. Someone asked that like 5 minutes ago, and I caught my eye, and I was like, oh, I got to mention that. That's an exclusive for this podcast.
nice. Very nice. We got the leaks. I see a lot of people in there bringing up Humble Bumble too. I'm sure you all have explored every avenue you can to get content to as many players as possible. So I guess this kind of goes along with it. Are there any other plans regarding premium calendar beyond March 2016? And I'm sure going with what you just said, people need a break, and then you'll start thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that right now. Hey, also, people in the chat, don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. I have my dream job. I love the game I work on. Despite what some people on the internet may say, our game has been very successful and good for our studio. Do not feel sorry for me. Please don't feel sorry for me. If you see that I'm down right now, it's because I'm tired. I was up all last night because my kid is sick. I'm not sad.
And then you had to start thinking about the zombie apocalypse and what you'd have to leave behind, and
Right. Yeah, I'm just, I don't want to.
it
Let's just
weighs
hope that
heavy.
doesn't happen. Let's just hope that we don't have the zombie apocalypse within my lifetime.
Exactly. All right, here's one weapon related. Can we
Yes.
expect to see more weapons from Battlefield 4? There's that game again. Can we expect them to make an appearance in Battlefield Hardline? Also, could we possibly see weapons from Battlefield Hardline in Battlefield 4? Is the code that similar, or is this something that's a little
Um,
more laborious?
I think it's like, okay, so first off, let me answer the first part of the question. We brought in some guns that were popular that the community requested.
2000.
We will do that again in Pack 4. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but there will be a few more guns that we'll bring over. As far as bringing them over, everybody knows our gun mechanics are pretty different. The way our shooting feels and time to kill and all that stuff is not the same as Battlefield 4. So we basically we'll take a model that they have, we'll clean up the model or change the model a little bit to fit our animations and stuff, and then but it's a completely different setup. Like we have to go set the our weapons are set up differently. So we have to set up the weapons. Otherwise, we could pour all those guns in there, but it's just not. It's not free. It's not like, oh, we just copy and paste it over. There's a lot of work that goes around it, but we continue to try to get the ones that people are really requesting a lot, and we will do some more of those in Pack 4. As far as the second part of the question, which is like, hey, and I saw that too, maybe on a thread or something, was someone was like, I'd love to see the FAL in BF4. I'd love to see the FAL in BF4 too. I love the FAL. Did I mention that? I don't control that, like what they add to their game or not. The communication that I have with the BF4 team is essentially, I try to keep them up to date with things we're doing, and they keep me up to date with things that they're doing, so that when we do releases, we try to time them right, so we're not like stomping on each other, and we're not drive our community managers crazy by just both games releasing stuff on the same day. So we talk about that a little bit. We've talked a little bit about what maps they had plans for, because they've been doing like night maps and classic maps, and maybe I had an idea about a classic map that I wanted to clear with them just to make sure they were not going to do it. So that kind of stuff. But I can't tell them. Sometimes I get people who send me things that are like, change this or change that before. I don't have any control over that.
We say what's up every month or so, and besides that,
Yeah, we check in, and those guys are awesome, and they've been a great. First of all, when we were making the game, we consulted with them. When we started Premium, we consulted with them. They've set an amazing example as far as like how to work with the community and maintain a game and all that stuff. So we certainly like look up to those guys and respect what those guys are doing. I just don't, have the power to make them put the FAL in the game. But if I did, I would.
So, since we're talking about weapons, and I see a lot of people in there throwing up their favorites, we've got the M1 Garand, Grand, however you pronounce that last part, I should know, but that's beside the point. If Zach could have his choice and put 3 weapons into the game that do not exist already, what weapons would you put in?
They're all in there.
All the ones you like are in there already.
You just said if Zach had his choice, guess what? I do.
Well, yeah. Okay.
It is my choice.
what would Zach like to see in the future that he hasn't added already?
Man, the stuff I want to see is like, there's like some pistols I'd like in there. I'd like to get more revolvers in. Let me look at like.
Someone said double pistols. Hey, Rec Filming. Do you mean like a? Do you mean like a Kimbo or just like...
Kimbo would be the best thing ever, yeah. I guess that would be the one thing. If there's one thing that like hangs there as far as weapons that's missing, it's like some kind of a Kimbo gun setup.
Really?
I mean, look at our influences, like these 80s and 90s action movies. Like
dual Uzis running around like Terminator.
Yeah, so if we were to do something like that, we would have to be very careful about how we introduce it to the game. Obviously, we'd have to balance it well, and I'd probably do like short clips on the guns or something to make it so that maybe you have to reload more often. Something to make it so that that's not like OP, right? But God, I would love to do that. I just think it would fit our fiction really well and be cool.
Yeah, interesting. Akimbo would be cool. There you go, guys. I see people scratching their head right now in the chat.
I think maybe people don't know what akimbo means too. Some people may not know that.
All right, that's holding 2 guns.
Yep.
Someone in there. No. Well, it'll be balanced either way.
Like some of the guns in the game or whatever, and like I totally agree. We cannot let somebody run with a double 1911 or a double bald eagle or anything like that. We'd have to be careful about it.
Yeah, something maybe fast firing, empties its clip quick, but does low damage. Kind of scorpion-ish like that, or.
We'll look into that. See what we can do.
Yeah, put that on the list of things to do. Nice, I like that. I like the way we're going with this. Definitely 80s, 90s So speaking of 80s and 90s, what else? Any other guns that you'd like to see in there? Maybe not even from the 80s and 90s, maybe even earlier than that?
We've been doing like we've introduced a few throwback weapons.
Yeah, yeah,
And we're doing another one for the next pack. I'm excited about that one. I just can't tell you what it is, but I always like the throwback weapons. I would
yeah.
love to do a thing where, and I think we're looking into it right now, where we can maybe have a server setting where you can only play with throwback weapons, which kind of mark like so basically just have the four guns, and we have to figure out what we can do for sidearms because I think some of the classes maybe don't have like I don't think on the professional right now we have a really like throwback sidearm, but we figured that out. So I like the throwback weapons, and I'm excited about. And I think
Yeah,
people will be excited about the next one when they see
yeah, and I
it.
think
People are really
someone
excited
mentioned
about the last one, which man, I really liked it before we released it, the 1887. Now I hate it because people just constantly. It's the gun that kills me every time now. People are running that thing.
yeah, they are. Yeah, I see the classic Steyr AUG mentioned in there also, and that would be cool. And I keep thinking Die Hard for some. Whenever I think of Hardline, I think of Die Hard also, just because
Uh,
that's like
like
the
the movie.
'80s. Yeah, Tower would be kind of cool, like that. Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
Um, so someone brought up that I guess attack helicopters have been momentarily taken out, and they're wondering if those are going to be reintroduced at
Let's
some
talk about
point.
attack helicopters. Okay, they haven't been taken out. Attack helicopters still exist in the places that they previously existed. Like we didn't go back and like there's an attack helicopter in downtown. There's an attack helicopter in desert. There's an attack helicopter in a few maps. We didn't go and remove them. What we have not been doing is using them in the new maps. To be perfectly honest, we don't really like them. We don't really like the way they play in Hardline. I love the way they play in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. Love it. But in Hardline, just because of the style of game, it's they're OP, and they're OP in a way that like changes. It completely changes the game. It completely changes the flow of how these games play out. So I'm not saying we won't use them in other maps in DLC, but I basically let the designers choose what they want to do. I don't have any mandate about we have to have X number of maps, including X number of vehicles. It's up to each map and each designer to figure out what works in there. And in general, like we've been leaning on the scout helicopter more. It just feels like it fits our gameplay style more. Now watch the chat light me up.
Hmm. No, I agree though. It kind of goes along with the boats also. I mean, they were.
Yeah,
It seemed like they were there, but they couldn't really be utilized to their full potential, and it was almost like they were not an afterthought. I'm sure a lot of thought went into them, but for the type of game it was, I mean, you can't go full out with them because it's law enforcement. You're not going to have rocket launchers and stuff on them. So, but if you did that also, it would make them a little too overpowered. So it's like, where do
yeah.
you go with them?
It's I use the boat sometimes, Riptide playing Blood Money because you can kind of run from one vault to the other really quickly in a boat, and people don't expect it. Other than that, yeah, they have their spots, and some people use them, but it's not the most popular vehicle in our game. And with the helicopters, they are very popular in the maps they're on. It's just we haven't been working them in there. Which on Pack 4, I'm not sure if they're in any of the maps or not. We really like the Scout helicopter. The Scout helicopter, it it's basically a nerfed version of the attack helicopter anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
Someone's flipping out because the dev actually said overpowered. You actually said the words.
yeah, I guess people don't like to say that. Like I don't
Or
care.
yeah, I
Constantly
guess they're
trying to
not used
balance
to people
everything.
admitting something's unbalanced. But
Right, right.
here's one about legendary progression systems.
Yeah.
So besides new weapon camos, what else is coming the way of legendary features, exclusive vehicle paints, everything else? What do you have in store for that?
Not sure yet. Just because we've been concentrating on like when we got legendary done. We've been concentrating on the other super features. So for Pack 3, it was competitive, and we actually still have more work to do on competitive. And we're still working on Pack 4, and then Pack 4, the focus is on gun bench. I'm fully aware of the amount of sort of hype behind gun bench, or that people are really like waiting for gun bench. So I'm really focused on making sure the gun bench delivers. So beyond that, like, not to say, like, we're definitely thinking about Legendary and like adding other stuff. It's just that will come after the other super features if we do anything like that. We gotta lock that stuff down.
Gotcha. Another question: satellite phone. Someone saying it was nerfed and practically unusable on large servers. Is this something that you've
I mean,
noticed? Is it?
you know what the change was?
I do not personally. I don't
So the
run.
way that sat phone works now, in the current version of the game, when the game launched, it worked just like the spawn beacon in Build
Right,
4.
right, yeah, yeah.
We changed it so that basically if you spawn on it, it has a timer on it. Someone else can't immediately spawn on it. So what you don't get is the instant 5 people spawning all at once. So not only they cannot spawn on the beacon, if you spawn on it, they can't spawn on you either. For you have a cooldown. And I think the cooldown
Right.
is 10 seconds. I could be wrong about that. But there's a short cooldown. The idea behind that is just that it's guys just popping up out of nowhere, and like, we're not going to take away spawning on squad mates or whatever, but let's be honest, like sometimes it gets weird in a firefight when just all of a sudden guys magically appear out of your butt, right? So
Yeah.
that change was made to the beacon because it just felt better specifically for squad heist. Originally we were just going to make that change just for squad heist because the beacon breaks squad heist if you don't do something to it. The attacking team can just always be there basically as long as they have a beacon out. So I was actually pushing to bring it back the other way. We fiddled with it and playtest both ways. I don't know where it lands on XP4 yet, but I'm thinking we'll probably keep the nerfed version that we currently have in the game.
A
Or we're
lot
currently,
of a lot of people are asking about the gun bench.
yes, gun bench. They want info that I'm not
They
allowed
want
to
it.
give. I'm not allowed to talk about the gun bench because it's like become such a big deal that like they really want to like. It's the same reason I can't talk about this bizarre map that we're making that's influenced by a past game. I can't do it because they want to do a big reveal, and I don't want to go out and like kill the PR and marketing reveal on this stuff by leaking stuff. They'll
So
get mad at me. I got to
so
be
so
careful, man. I've already made
so
them mad at me.
you've already said too much about a map coming out based upon another game's previous map, huh?
No one has picked up, like, I haven't gotten any grief for that yet. I forget what
Yeah.
I leaked last time. I maybe got a little grief for something that I leaked last time. It's fine. Like, I have a really good relationship with our marketing and PR guys, but I get on here and I get excited and I go a little bit rogue and off message sometimes and like, hey, look, their job is to like roll stuff out and announce things and message things properly, and they probably don't like the random producer firing up a Skype session from his desk and just blasting out the secrets ahead of time. I got
Yeah.
to be careful.
Yeah,
So
you've
I
said
can't.
too
I'll
much.
leak some stuff. I mean, I've already kind of hinted at a few things, but the gun bench I can't talk about, and I really want to talk about it.
The first rule of gun bench is you don't talk about
I
gun
know,
bench.
and I feel like, yeah, I really want to talk about it. It's like I want to do one of two things. I want to like really talk about it, or I want to like play a prank and take it out of the game just to freak people out. That would probably be bad for business.
So it's become that big of an item right now.
It's cool though. Like we can play it now. We're playing it. We're play testing it. It's really cool.
So it is on
So
the horizon. Just you can't
yeah, it's
tell us
coming.
when and yeah, it's coming
When they
soon.
announce the
Trademark.
when they announce the date for the pack, I think they'll do a little bit of a reveal, and then I think after that I can talk a little more openly about all the features because there's a whole component to the gun bench that like no one has even talked about or asked about that's super cool that I think people just don't even expect us to do. So like I'm really excited to get that announced, but I gotta wait.
Nice. Well, I guess not nice for
So,
some people.
so
They're
no,
wanting it now,
I
but
don't want to talk about it. I gotta be careful.
all right. So speaking of future stuff, what is the inspiration for the
You want
next
some movies,
map?
some hints
Yeah.
for okay.
Yeah, I want some hints. I mean, we
I
went with movies last time.
and no, I like this because yeah, people. There's one of them that man, if I give a hint, it's gonna just straight blow it. Maybe I'll give like a weird sideways hint. Hang on, let me look at the list of the maps here to make sure. Okay. Okay, so the next set of maps. Let's go with movies.
Movies
Okay.
again. All right. Movies for
Cl-
1,000.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Uh,
Cliffhanger, huh?
Then this
Getting
one's gonna be like this
Mountain
one's gonna
Ski
throw you off.
Chalet. All right.
I'm just gonna say cliffhanger. This one's gonna throw you off a bit and it won't make sense until the map comes out and be like, oh, that's what he meant. Gremlins.
I think you said that before. Also, we went with that last time too, didn't we?
It was about
Gremlin.
this, but yes.
Okay, it was about this.
Yeah, it's the same one. Man,
Which Gremlins? One or two?
One.
One.
Yeah.
Two
One.
wasn't anything really. Yeah.
We're not talking two. Okay, so I talked about that one. I talked about that one. Man, how do I hint this one without just saying it? If I say the movie, it's gonna blow it. I can't do that one. Man, I can. Okay.
So take an actor in the movie and give us a movie that he was also in.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Man, who was in that movie? Hang on. I gotta remember who's the star of that movie. You know, some of these movies are like obscure, man.
Yeah.
This is I just typed in the movie name and something completely unrelated came up.
So something that's getting you flagged right now.
This is gonna be a weird hint. Yeah, like how can I hint that without saying like? Yeah, Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Leaving Las Vegas.
That's not it.
Honeymoon in Vegas.
That's not it. It's not Vegas.
The Rock, Alcatraz. Yes.
Anyway, so the fourth one, the hint will be. Said that one. I said that one.
You moved on from that pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't. We're not gonna sit here and guess all the movies. I'm just gonna let that hang.
Con Air.
The last one is tricky too. Let's see. Hang on. I forget what the movie was that we talked about. No, I can do some weird ones for this because there's like a bunch of movies that have had like this kind of map in there. Oh yeah, that's good. Ooh, I could say that one. That's gonna throw people off. Okay, I'm gonna go Nick Cage again and say National Treasure. And
National. So you did
what you're gonna guess is not the right guess.
So we're not talking about the beginning part when they're out in the ice field with the giant ice vehicles.
No, and here's the thing: if you go watch both these movies, you'll figure it out. I'm gonna give you a second movie. In the second movie is, and then you can compare and contrast and do a Venn diagram, and maybe you'll figure it out. The second movie, ooh, that's a good one. I could say that because this has so many. You're gonna like it. I'll do this one for you: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay? Yep. So a style of location that is in both those movies, and it's not what you think.
Very interesting. 1780s board has been confirmed. Prison, Mount Rushmore, everybody's going crazy. Underground, Wasteland, Dinosaur Motorcycle. And that's something that came up earlier. Segways, are we going to see those?
Man, we had working at one point, but it was so dumb. And like there gets to be a point that
it's like we can't make this work. It's just so ridiculous.
I'm down for the funny stuff. And like I understand the game is like it's not super ultra serious and we don't take ourselves too serious, but we do get to a certain point sometimes.
There's got to be a line, right?
There's got to be a line, and the way that thing worked and the way it played, the line was crossed. We had to go back on the other side of the line. We had it in Black Friday, but it was not. It's not. It's one of those ideas that sounds like funny when we talk about it. Oh, that would be perfect, but I promise you, like in game, it was not. The map was better without it. It's the same thing with that picture I posted. Someone just asked about it, so I'll say it. That picture I posted that we were messing around and we slapped a bunch of like dinosaur bones on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a spot in our game for that. That's not like. It's just too silly. And I understand we have a couch you can drive.
Which the cover of that, no pun intended, was blown a little sooner than you all had hoped too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it wasn't. You know, this is the thing with our Easter eggs too. Is like they're They're too easy to find. We always think it's going to take people forever, and they figure it out in a day,
Like
right?
you've
Like
you've
Steve
got
and
you've
Danny
got
figured out the gator like way too fast.
you've
Really, like,
got you have some dedicated people out there looking for those things, though. I mean, they're like almost like tinfoil hat type stuff. I mean, you got. I don't have time for Easter eggs like that. I play, but I mean, there's some people that have done some amazing stuff finding these things.
yeah. No, it's crazy, and they find stuff that's it's like little shit. It's not even Easter eggs. It's just like little tiny touches that like artists put in the maps, or because people like want to put these little details, and they find that stuff, and they think it's like an Easter egg, and they'll send me screenshots of things I've not seen, and it's like, man,
So
I know
Illuminati confirmed.
I know these maps like the back of my hand, and I'll see a shot of something, where I'm like, where the hell is that? It
Ask
is
for a
Jack Fragg's
symbol.
fault. It is Jack Fragg's fault.
Yeah, it's all Jack Frag. Jack, look what you've done. Ask
The
for a
symbol,
symbol leaky.
the symbols will be. Just wait till pack 4. The symbols will make sense.
So this is something that. All right, so you got to get the complete picture for them then.
Yeah.
So, any hint of what the symbols might lead to? Is this a physical thing or is it a?
Yeah. Thing you will unlock for you.
Ah,
That's all I'll say.
very, very nice, unlockable. So, any other little nuggets you can throw our way? Stuff we should expect without getting yourself in
Um,
trouble too
yeah.
much.
I mean, look at the list of stuff
This
here.
is the leak. This is the leak portion. Everybody, get your recorders going. The official, unofficial leaks.
Man, we already talked about all this stuff in little ways or big ways. I've no more nuggets.
No more nuggets. Nuggets
Uh,
have all been expended.
yeah, like the other things I could say, like it's just too. I've learned the lesson with the Easter egg guys. Like I give too many hints, and then they just figure it
Yeah, figure it out.
out. I mean, there's been like within the chat when people are just throwing out crazy guesses on maps. Maybe not in this chat, but in my stream, did a stream like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Like people threw out shit. You can go look through the chat. People threw out shit that we're doing, and I just didn't comment on it. But yeah, I gotta not say anymore. 'Cause people
Has that happened during this stream?
maybe.
Maybe. Guys, go back through the chat log and see what you all said. It's in there somewhere. You all nailed it and you didn't even know it. So
It's like the whole design document is in the chat log. You just have to piece it together and rearrange all the letters.
so is there an actual date pegged down for the fourth DLC yet, or is that still kind of you got a general idea
I
and you're
don't think
just hopping
so.
around?
I think that hopefully they'll announce it fairly soon. Generally, like we when we finish a pack, we're still dealing with some competitive issues. So I haven't really thought too much about the release of pack 4 until I get all this competitive stuff sorted.
So by competitive, you mean are we talking like esports type stuff?
The competitive feature, so we have like this feature in the game now that you can like go in and like we launch these competitive like seasons, like it'll be every 2 weeks,
Okay.
different maps and modes launch, and then there's like prizes, like special I don't know what they give away. Maybe they give away like a special kill card, maybe some patches or something for like doing well in the seasons. And the idea is like it's a 5-on-5. It's a way to use our 5-on-5 modes, and it's like a better matchmaking system and a ranking system. And since it's come out, it's been okay. But of course, when you release these things into the wild, there's always issues, and so we're trying to get those issues sorted out because the people that want to play that stuff, it needs to be taken very seriously, right? Because if you're gonna
Right.
play like that, you're gonna call it competitive, which isn't necessarily Battlefield's wheelhouse. You need to get your shit together. So I think we launched it. I sort of consider pack 3 like the soft launch. We got it out there. People are playing it. We're getting tons of feedback on it, and now we're going to go adjust it based on that feedback. So we have a bunch of stuff we needed to adjust and some bugs to fix.
Gotcha.
Bugs. The bane of my existence.
Bugs. They're everywhere. Glitches.
Yeah. It's like you build up this like deficit too, and you guys see it. It's like I always want to run forward and add more and more and more and more, but sometimes you have to like stop and just look at the state of the thing and like clean it up a bit. It's exciting to like add new content. It's not necessarily exciting to go fix some old bug that people don't even care about anymore, right? But you got to do that stuff to make your game more tip-top experience.
Here's one. Narwhal Dave says, Zach, what
Dave.
does 1987 on the graves on Double Cross mean?
Did they say 1987? I thought they said 1887 because the gun this pack was 1887. They say 1987, dude. You know what that's gonna be? A double cross. It's Trey, man. It's got to be Trey. I bet you that's what year he was born. It's like one of the artists.
So there you go. Someone did a shout out to themselves.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Someone wants a better release note next time. A nice, beautiful
Okay.
PDF.
Listen.
I feel like we covered this last time too. How
Yeah, but then I did it again. I put out more terrible patch notes. I'm awful at patch notes. I'm gonna have someone else do the patch notes on this next pack.
hire an intern.
I got some guys. They're not interns. I got some guys that could use a little extra work though. So for pack
You could-
4, they want the PDF, just like Dice LA does it. Thanks, Serland. He's raised the bar for patch notes. So yeah, we'll get better patch notes for pack 4, and I'm serious this time. I already started like writing down stuff so I don't forget, because that's actually the biggest problem is I forget. We released the patch notes for pack 3. We didn't even mention the high ticker servers, like the thing that people have been asking about the most. We didn't even mention because I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, we fixed this and this. I don't know, man. Put it out there.
Who reads? Who reads anyways, right?
Who reads anyway? Just
Yeah,
play the game.
reading, that
You'll
stuff's
see what we.
overrated. Put it out in video format. That'll get people's attentions. Go down the beach, hire some model to just come in and put her in front of the screen. Of course,
Talk to the patch
yeah,
notes.
yeah,
Why wouldn't I
exactly.
just do that? You think people would want to see like some model more than me?
I'm
Don't
not
answer.
going
Don't
there.
answer.
Yeah, we're not going there.
When
So
Pack 4 drops and you sign me up for one of these podcasts, I'm gonna sit just off camera and I'm gonna have some model sitting here speaking for me, and I'll
there
just
you go.
whisper into the model's ear, and like it's yeah,
There
we're
you
gonna do
go.
that. Find a
There you
model. I'm on it.
So Zach, it's been about an hour. We've gone a little over the time, so I think we covered just about everything. Oh,
Let
here's
me look
one
at the
more
chat.
coming at the last second.
Please.
And I was gonna ask. I almost said axe. Whew. I was gonna ask this earlier. How about the Xbox One lockup issue?
Yeah. Okay. So that thing, I think that thing surfaced like Pack 1, maybe. I don't think it was in launch. I think our game was clean in launch, and then it came out in Pack 1, and then we fixed it, or we like made it way better. Uh, it was cool for quite a while there, and then Pack 3 came out, and it's kind of reared its ugly head again. We're back on it. We already have it. I think we have it figured out, so we're working on that right now. We're testing that right now. It seems the weird thing about that crash, that lock, is that it's something going on with the way our game communicates with like the operating system for the Xbox, and so it's like it's just a really tricky bug because you cannot have it ever. Like some people have never seen it, and then some people seem to be getting it a lot. This is tricky for me because like some people will tell me they get it 100% of the time, and when we look at like what the code is doing, it seems like highly improbable that that's even possible that anyone's getting it 100% of the time. So like there's been a lot of like sort of weird information about that lock. I guess that's a really long answer. Short answer is sorry. We're on it. I think we've got it figured out. We're working on the fix right now.
There you go. So it's being worked on, and we'll give one last question because this is about the next map pack again. Is this going to be your best map pack or most worked on one? Is a little more love being given to this one since it's the we won't say finale because you've hinted at other cool stuff, but
It's weird because like it's like saying like is your new kid gonna be better than your old kid? Right? Like I like my old kid, man. Let me knock on my old kid. He's cool.
yeah,
A little slow, I guess, but he's cool. It's gonna be good. We started Pack 4 at the same time we started Pack 3. So like
oh
we
wow,
put a lot
okay,
of time into it.
yeah,
There's a couple things in Pack 4 that we've wanted to do the whole time, and we just didn't have the time to do it. Now we finally had the time to do it. So like I'm most excited for that pack.
so there you go, Narwhal Dave, swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion.
Hold on,
God,
someone
I
keeps
hated
asking
that
about
commercial.
bounty hunter Assassin 727, I got you. I've seen you asking this question, and now I'm going to answer it. Bounty Hunter map size reduction. Zach cries. Zach cries? That's like a robot crying, right? That little icon?
Yeah, I
Now we
think
got a robot
no.
smiling.
That's just a smile. I don't know why it uses that. I would have.
Why is it like a square, like gray? I'm not the emojis, man.
Yeah, and
These. Okay.
don't ask
Anyway,
me.
I will look at that. What he's asking is like, can we reduce boundary size? I'm assuming probably just on some specific maps, some of the like bigger maps. I will look at that. Danny, will it be bigger maps or more close quarter? One, two, three. Not one, two, three. Three big maps, one close quarter.
Baguettes. We don't want baguettes. We're not French. We're not French here.
Baguettes. Probably not gonna get the baguette in there, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
All
I
right.
could probably
Yeah.
like color a baton or something. I could reskin a baton.
Yeah. Make a toast colored baton.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably
All
not.
right.
Sorry,
No.
Danny.
All right, Zach. We kept you an hour and 10 minutes now. So as always, it's been a pleasure. You know, we enjoy you coming out here. Thank you for the nuggets you've thrown, whether people realize they were being thrown or not. I know some of them probably went over people's heads, so you'll just have to go back through, rewatch, or check it out again. They're in there. I caught some of them. Exciting
Yeah,
stuff is on the horizon.
yeah, and thanks for having me on, and for everybody that jumped in and watched. Appreciate it. Sorry, I'm exhausted. I know I'm low energy today. This is not the normal like, hey, I just need sleep, man. I'm really tired today, so I apologize for that, guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming out again, watching DRMB podcast. Thank you, Zach, and we are out of here.